A trial is like theater. You have to put a story together. It's a puzzle. This bomb exploded about 10:22. This is a clock that was across the street at Denise McNair's grandfather's establishment. Time always stands still, and it sure did for Birmingham and Alabama. As the movement began to grow in Birmingham and elsewhere, so did the Klan violence. There's so many things, I think, about all of these cases that occurred so many years ago that we can look today and see how history often repeats itself. But when the children took to the streets and got hit with the fire hoses and the dogs, everything changed. Even before Charleston, for the last 10 years, I've asked people to look at that photograph and make sure they understood why the Confederate battle flag has become a symbol of hate and not a symbol of history. You only have to look back to 1963. This is Addie Mae Collins. Addie Mae was 14 years old at the time. She came to Sunday school and church with her sisters that morning, gathered down in the ladies' lounge to get ready. Cynthia Morris Wesley. And then there was Carol Robertson, who you heard about earlier, the dancer. You could just feel it in the courtroom. It's incredible. They just came over this. They understood, as did everybody, that this case was more than just simply about history. It was about victims. This was the crater of where the bomb was placed. It blew through 18 inches of concrete. I said, what was the reaction? She said, everybody was screaming. It was bedlam in there. So what did you do? She said, I just screamed, my baby, my baby, because she knew that Denise was right there where that blast occurred. And he had to go into a makeshift morgue that they had made for the bodies of these 4 children, one of whom you really couldn't identify. And he had to identify the body of his only daughter at the time, still with a piece of mortar embedded right in the middle of her skull. He said, Doug, let me tell you, people come here all the time. They mourn for the girls. They remember the event. But until they see that mortar that was embedded in my daughter's skull, they truly cannot appreciate what people do in the name of hate. What did you see? She said, I saw my sister tying the sash of Denise McNair's new dress. Well, then what happened? She said, well, then there was the explosion. And I was buried underneath the rubble. I couldn't move. I could barely breathe. I couldn't see. She's still blind in one eye. I said, Sarah, what did you do? She said, I called out for help. I called out for sister. I called out, Addie, Addie, Addie. Her voice rising in that courtroom just like it did some 38 years earlier. I said, did you ever hear her respond? No, sir. Did you ever see her alive again? No, sir. And with that, I looked up at Judge Jim Garrett and I said, Your Honor, the state of Alabama rests its case. I came in the night before the closing arguments, and Cherry, my daughter's watching the Shawshank Redemption. And at the end of that movie, Morgan Freeman's reading a letter. And in that letter, they talk about hope. And that hope was a good thing. Maybe the best of things. And it dawned on me that that's what that picture is all about. It captures the image of the children who took to the streets of Birmingham and throughout the country to march for freedom, who got hit by the fire hoses and dogs. It captures the images of Sarah as she lay in the hospital, the image of a mother's heart that never stops crying over the loss of a child, the image of the deaths of the children, but more importantly, an image of hope. As you go here from Birmingham, Go back with a newfound sense of purpose, understanding more what happened here. Understand that we've come a long way, but understand we have got a long way to go. And understand you can't let nobody turn you around. Nobody turn you around. Thank you for letting me tell this story tonight and bearing with me. Thank you.